What's up, guys? It is Mavericks Today. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Dorian Finney-Smith back on the NBA trade market, Coop. And
Yes.
listen, the way the Mavs are playing right now, they're going to be tough to stop offensively. But I think one thing they could really add is some defense, especially on the perimeter. We know Dodo would provide that. He also can shoot the basketball. So certainly a name we've talked about plenty on this channel. But the Nets are potentially looking to sell here.
And I feel bad for Dorian because it feels like every single time around this year, it's his name in trade rumors and whatnot. The latest trade rumor was that the Lakers have some interest in him, and it's almost certain that he's going to be available sooner than the deadline. So he could be on the market as soon as right now, if we're being honest, and there will be teams that are vying for his services just because he's having such a good season. And we'll get into his stats here in just a moment. But here's what his current contract status is. He's making $15 million this year, and then he has a $15.3 million player option for next season, which I assume he opts out of in order to try to get some more guaranteed money there.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's very tradable contract there for Dorian Finney-Smith. He's, I think he would certainly like coming back to Dallas. I don't think there's any question about that. But I think the most intriguing part for him now is he's having a career-best offensive season. His numbers had kind of dipped since leaving Luka and Dallas the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But this year he's shooting the piss out of it at 45% from three, and it's not like it's a small volume. He's taking almost 6 a game. So, if he's north of 40% from three and can give you the defensive versatility we know he could provide, certainly a guy who – can play different roles for you. He can start. He can come off the bench. He can play some three, play some four. So,
and we do know when we kind of look at what the Mavs' assets are and their kind of tradable assets, so to speak. We know that their biggest hole is that backup four spot. You have Maxi Kleber making $11 million, who got sick and now has a broken rib and is out indefinitely. And when he plays, he's just not very good anymore. So I think this is the biggest upgrade the Mavs need to make. You have a couple of picks at your disposal, as you can see, under draft assets and first owed and whatnot. Now, the Mavs can exceed the first apron, so the trade rules do get a little interesting here as far as what exactly the Mavs can offer. But here's just kind of a look at their asset pool.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, I think Maxey is the primary salary fill guy in that trade, and this is one you cooked up of Kleber, Omax, Jaden Hardy, and a first, which, look, it sounds like a lot, but are any of those other three guys in your playoff rotation? I think the answer is pretty clearly no at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue that Omax might get there, but you don't know that for sure.
He's played okay this year. He's been getting some run recently, but
Dorian's obviously the more established veteran. He's been on a playoff run with this team before. Now, obviously, it's a completely different team, but he has the playoff experience, and he's able to play heavy minutes in a postseason setting. He has that demonstrated ability. Omax doesn't. That's not to say Omax can't get there, but the Mavs are in a win-now scenario, so I could see a scenario where they try to offer this to the Nets. Now, I'm not sure the Nets even accept this deal because there were rumors that they want multiple first-round picks for him. Now, I wonder if you could get away with a first-round pick and maybe a second or some version of a swap, whatever the case may be, but I would heavily consider this if I was Nico Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Omax. I like his upside, but you don't. I think the Mavs are in the tier of team now where you can't fall in love with young potential pieces. Like, if you can get a guy
the time is now.
Who can help you right now, I think you got to take that swing. And, even if Omax or Kleber is in the playoff rotation, they're probably not playing as many minutes as Dodo could.
Right.
I mean, on any given night, he can give you 30 minutes in a playoff game. So would you guys make this trade A for accept, D for decline? I probably would, because it feels like Spencer Dinwiddie has kind of emerged from that Hardy-Dinwiddie discussion. You're going to get Dante Exum back, so he helps replace Hardy as well once that happens. And, yeah, it kind of would suck to punt on Omax before seeing that play out, but we know what Finney-Smith brings to the table. And I think the Mavericks they're in this championship window right now, and you got to take swings when you're in that window. So I think if you're Dallas, you certainly have to really, really consider a package like this if it's on the table.
Yep, let us know down in the comments, A for accept or D for decline. And while you're down in the comments, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're covering the Mavs on a near daily basis throughout the season with the latest news, rumors, analysis, and more. We try to do as many watch parties as we can.
You doing
as
one this
well.
week or probably back next
Probably
week?
back next week, given all the holiday stuff and the NFL schedule and whatnot. But we're so close to Klay Thompson subscribers, so help us get there as soon as possible.
Get us off the 666 here. It's just spooking me out a little bit.
That's a strange number. You never want to be in that situation, but
let's make it happen. Hit that subscribe button. All right, so we pivot from Dodo to Nico Harrison, who's obviously running the ship here with all these decisions, and he's made some pretty good ones. I mean,
yes, he has.
He's earned more than the benefit of the doubt. He's earned our trust, I would say, at this point.
He hasn't had many misses here, and the way that the Mavs sort of operate, it seems like over the past few years, is they kind of let things outplay a little bit more. So I think they let this thing go into February, maybe the first week of February. I believe that's when they made the Kyrie Irving trade, was a week before the trade deadline. I don't think they're going to jump on anything right as the trade restrictions were lifted a couple days ago on December 15th. I think they'll see this thing out. They'll see if Kleba can get back healthy. They'll see if Omax can establish a consistent role in the rotation. And if that's the case, then maybe they don't have to be as trigger happy for going for a Dorian Finney-Smith type player. And if it plays out that they do, then they can make a move that they need to.
Well, I think part of it, too, Coop, is where are you at this point in the season? Like, they don't need to force the issue.
Exactly.
They're 17-9. They're, 4 seed right now, and a game out of the 2 seed, I believe.
Tied
so,
for
like,
third.
they're very comfortable with where they're at. They don't need to force the issue. But I do think it'll be one of those where they're going to continue to monitor the market for the next couple of months leading up to that February deadline. All right, we got to tell you about our sponsor, PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy, and during this holiday season, you can win up to 1,000 times your entry on certain lineups with PrizePicks. It went from 100x to 200x to 1,000x. PrizePicks has never offered this type of opportunity. Get signed up today at PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to also get a $50 bonus when you play for just $5 initially. $5 to get $50 for free. Nikola Jokic, they got a deal right now, half a point there for his Christmas action. So you got several days to check that out. SGA, I got more on his points, rebounds, and assists tonight. And then Damian Lillard less on his points, rebounds, and assists as well. 10 to win 50 there. But again, certain lineups right now, 1,000x your entry with PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states. If it's available in yours, what are you waiting for? Get signed up today. 2 or more players in your lineups. Pick more, pick less. It's PrizePicks. All right, Coop. We kind of alluded to it there. 17-9, fourth in the West. But, you're kind of in that almost a third of the way through the regular season. It's crazy how quick it goes. I'd say Dallas is in a pretty good spot, especially considering they just got completely peppered with this illness, which I might have had the same illness they had.
Did you go to the Mavs facility over the weekend?
I don't know if they gave it to me or I don't think I gave it to them because this started about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
but,
it's
they're
incredible.
In a good spot.
Yeah, they've had a lot of man games missed because of this illness. I mean, Najee Marshall's missed 5 games, and he's still questionable to play in Thursday night's tilt against the Clippers. But nonetheless, the Mavs are sitting at 4th here in the West right now, tied with Houston for 3rd. Houston obviously has the tiebreaker due to head-to-head. They're just a half game behind Memphis, and roughly, 2.5 behind Oklahoma City, who they've already beat once this year. So they're right in the thick of this thing. They're definitely in play for the number 1 seed. Now, I don't think the number 1 seed is the most important thing. As long as you're in that top 4, I think that's where you want to be.
I also look at this, too. I'm like, I'm sorry. Memphis and Houston come playoff time at a best of 7, I will bet on the Mavericks all day long.
Now, I like the Memphis Grizzlies team a lot, man. They play really hard. They play a lot of defense, but give me Luka, give me Klay, give me Kyrie.
Well, I just think the experience is, and like Houston, they're ahead of schedule here, but I'm sorry. You get them in a series, I'm taking Dallas all day.
Every time.
I think the 2 teams on screen there, OKC and Denver, those are the ones that you would have more concern with because both those teams have playoff experience, and they're just extremely well built.
Now, realistically, I think there's 2 teams that can win the Western Conference, and I think that's OKC, and I think that's the Mavs. Yeah. I don't even think Denver can anymore. I just don't think their role players are good enough. Jokic is having an unbelievable season, but I think the loss of their role players over the last couple of seasons have really decimated
it's really impacted them. I think the key for them is, like, can Murray play like he has the last couple games? He's, like, finally played at a big-time level again. But if not, they got no shot. You look at Dallas's ratings here offensively. They're 4th. Defensively, they're 11th. We've kind of complained about the defense. Like, they're still,
they're playing well, man.
Fringe top 10. So you look at this team right now, Coop. I said it off air. Like, that Warriors game kind of felt like he wasn't playing poorly, but like it was kind of like the, all right, the season has started for Luka now. I mean, a 45-point triple-double, like he's ready to go.
And I mentioned this on yesterday's show. I don't know if you knew this. Luka, second in the league in steals per game right now at 2.1.
Well,
I thought he doesn't play defense.
That's what people say.
And also, this stat has been going around Mavs Twitter, NBA Twitter. Now that the Mavericks starting lineup of Luka, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively has played over 100 minutes, they now qualify for this. They are the best lineup, 5-man lineup in the NBA with a net rating of 22.5.
That'll work.
That'll play, man. Look,
if
Klay Thompson's going to start knocking down shots like he did in the Chase Center over in the Bay, and I know 2 of the 4 or 5 best games that he's had this year are both at Golden State, so go figure there. But if he can keep it up, and he's really been going for about 5 or so games now, if he can keep it up, this team is really damn hard to stop. And in conclusion, they're a really good basketball team.
Yeah, we said it off air as well. If Klay's making shots, I don't know how you slow down this team offensively. Now, you can score on Dallas a little bit, but, I mean, Golden State went 27 of 54 from 3 and lost by 10 points. I've never
hit 5 threes.
It's crazy. Like, this team, Klay's the X factor with his shooting. If he's making shots, and it's why they got him, because in the finals against the Celtics, they just could not hit open shots.
Didn't have enough shot makers.
If he's able to do that, they can beat anybody. There's no question about that.
Yeah, I think Klay is an X factor, and PJ Washington's the other one. When he doesn't play, the Mavs are 1-5. When he does play, they're a lot better than 1-5.
Well, and he's proven too, for whatever reason, when he plays, they match up really well against the Thunder,
they do.
Is the toughest competition for the Mavs in the Western Conference. So
feel good, man.
I think Dallas is in a good spot. Like we said earlier, they'll monitor the trade market. I think they'll make at least one minor move.
Nico has made a trade every single season he's been in charge.
Yeah, and when you're a contender like this, you typically do at least something, even if it's somewhat insignificant. So we'll continue to monitor that and cover every trade rumor there. So be sure to subscribe and let us know. Will the Mavs make it back to the NBA Finals? Type Y for yes, type in for no.
We'll see you in June.
We'll see you in June. Peace.
Take it easy.